Hi friends, Ananda here, mystical friends. Today I want to talk to you about the composite chart. What is it and what does it tell us? Let's talk about it. The composite chart. Okay, well, first I want to tell you that my office is currently serving as a chick brooder. We got 9 baby chicks and they're right over there across from my desk. And sometimes they get to chirping really loudly. I think it's really cute. So if you hear them, that's what it is. This is May. We tend to think of a relationship as being two people, but in astrology, we have synastry charts where we look at how two people affect each other and how their energies interact. But then we have the composite chart. This represents the relationship as its own entity. It has its own needs, its own personality, and it operates like this behind the scenes framework that has clues to what the relationship needs in order to truly thrive. So the truth of it is that there's actually a trinity. There are 3 personalities in each relationship. And this is true in romantic relationships. Do you hear the chicks? Romantic relationships, friendship, family, even if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business, the natal chart of the business and you as an individual have a composite chart. So this is any 2 entities in relationship with each other. There is a composite chart that represents that relationship of those 2 people. Now, it tells us a lot of things. And for those of you, myself included, who are interested in conscious partnering, being spiritually fed, growing in your relationship, and improving as a person and as a unit. And when you do this, you have to be aware of your own stuff. So conscious partnering is not always easy and not everyone chooses it. But for those who do, the composite chart is a wealth of information. It tells us how to achieve the deepest, most meaningful, most full expression that the relationship can be. If these needs of the composite are denied, a relationship loses its spark. It falls, flat and lifeless. And you know those couples, or maybe you've experienced this before, where just like it just can't be sustained. The spark is gone and you don't really know why. And chances are the composite chart, particularly in that situation, it's probably the composite sun's needs are not being met. Now, here's where I say that this is only valid when you actually have a relationship with someone. Like, I could draw up the composite chart for myself and, Donald Trump or somebody, and that it's irrelevant because he and I don't actually have a personal relationship. I just have to throw this in there because I just do, trust me. So it looks just like a natal chart, and in essence, it really is. It's really a midpoint chart. It finds the point in between the 2 people's suns, moons, and all the rest of the planets. So it's a midpoint chart. Sometimes I get really excited, or people send me messages, they're really excited that their composite sun is the midpoint in between their suns. And I'm like, yes, that's how it is for everyone's composite chart, and then for all the planets further on down the chart. So to make it a little complicated, there are a couple different types of composite charts, and even within that, a couple different ways to draw them up. My favorite way, the way that I prefer in my work with clients and in my own life, is to use the midpoint method for the midheaven, and then use the location of the first meeting to figure out the cusps for the rest of the houses. Now, a lot of the composite charts that you can get online, they probably use the ascendant ascendant midpoint. If it doesn't ask for a location, that's probably the default, and this is okay. It's, you know, the planets are all going to be the same no matter what. It may just change some of the houses. So if you find that there's something in it with the houses that doesn't resonate, maybe try and get your hands on the midpoint method with the midheaven and the location of the first meeting. If you met online, use the first time you actually met face-to-face for the location. And this is something that most professional astrologers could pull up for you, myself included. You can go to my website, galacticmystic.com, to specialty charts. I'll put it in the description below. And also, if you get a reading from me, I can give you a copy of the chart. Another type of composite chart is called the Davison chart, and maybe you've heard of this. I don't really use the Davison. I don't find it to be particularly helpful in regards to what couples actually experience in their relationships. Sometimes I'll run into someone who really loves the Davison chart, and I always ask why, because I want to know. I'm always open to changing my mind. And 9 times out of 10, it's because they say they prefer what the Davison chart says. And this kind of leads me to my particular view of the composite chart. There is no bad composite chart. I mean, there are so many, like every single aspect, every single thing that could possibly be in your composite chart is a spectrum of experience. There is I can have hair in my mouth. Excuse me. There's a best expression and a lowest expression of everything. And where, of course, we know that relationships can be challenging and the composite chart can reflect that, but it isn't always necessarily that the composite chart is difficult. The composite chart can pick sides. One person might have a much easier time and have a natural ability harmonizing with the needs of the composite chart than the other. Sorry. It can be a wild card. It's an invisible force that is felt every day once you know how to recognize its personality playing out in your relationship, or it is the relationship playing out in your lives. Its voice is quiet until you meet it in this way. And even when a couple is, well acquainted with their composite chart, it doesn't necessarily guarantee success. And sometimes what a partnership needs is just too far out of the comfort zone for one or both of the people. And, there is no failure. I like to say that if you learn something, it wasn't a mistake, and you can learn something from anything. I just want to say again that there is no bad composite chart in itself. So, things like the 12th house often get misunderstood. Things like Pluto and Mars and where they are in the chart. And I just want to encourage you to have an open mind to the possibility that with consciousness, with knowledge and conscious awareness in our partnerships, that we can have a better chance growing in the ways that we need to grow in order to give our relationships the best success. Even in friendships, you know, me and my best friend of forever, we have a Virgo sun in our composite chart. And it really, for some reason, I didn't look it up I didn't look at it for a really long time. And we were having, you know, a spat or something. And I thought, gosh, let me look at this. And it made a lot of sense. What that tells me is that, you know, the relationship actually thrives when we are making even the tiniest steps forward to have a better relationship. And I can really see that. We've been friends forever. So anyway, just a little personal note there. Well, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions just about what it is, please, you know, I really try to respond to everybody's messages. Sometimes I miss, or it like skips past and I don't see it for a long time, and I apologize, but I really do try to get back to you soon. Let me know what you think. What are your questions about the composite chart? I think my next video, I'll start talking about the composite sun, because it's just really, really good information, life-changing in a lot of cases, relationship changing. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing and liking and sharing when you think that this information could help others, or it's just interesting. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.